Hello, Nevada County. It's your friendly neighborhood political correspondent. Here at Nevada County Media, I aim to educate and empower voters by interviewing local political leaders. My guest today is Grass Valley City Councilwoman Hillary Hodge. Hi, City Councilwoman. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, how's your summer been?
It has been a lot of fun. As you probably know, I have a day job with Music in the Mountains, and we have our classical music summer festival during the months of May, June, and July, and we had incredible concerts this year. It was fantastic.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So did you make it to the fair?
I did. I didn't make it to the corn dog booth, which was a bummer, but I think the line was longer than for the Ferris wheel. But I got to see the textiles and the quilts, which were absolutely beautiful, and a lot of the plants and some of the dioramas. There's a lot of talent here locally.
So much talent here locally. Yeah. Did you make it to the Thursday night markets or any of the other summer fair?
Yes. So our local offerings in Nevada County and in Grass Valley, there's never a dull day, right?
No.
And there has been so much to do. I was actually in a musical at the Nevada Theater.
What?
Yeah, I was in Rent with the Lyric Rose Theater Company. It was such a joy to be a part of that. So it's been busy, and the arts have something to offer here in our community. And if you love to garden, you've been busy this time of year. I know I've found a few rogue zucchinis for sure.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
They're probably some kind of interesting hybrid of
Yeah, I feel like they're the perfect size, and then you're like, I'll get it tomorrow, and then they're Thanksgiving zucchinis.
Yes, zucchinis aplenty.
Yes.
So diving in here, tell me about your background and what brought you to your position as City Councilwoman.
Oh, I love that question. I do not have a background in politics. I have spent my entire life working in the nonprofit industry in various capacities. So I started in case management for low-income households in Sacramento and moved up here and lived on a chicken farm for a year. Was my first home in Nevada County off of Dog Bar Road, and it was a lot of fun and a wonderful experience, and contended with a few roosters who never got the best of me, so it was quite a success. And today I work for a classical music organization in marketing, and my best friend will tell you that I am a poet who accidentally got elected. So that's been my background. I have a degree in English literature from UC Davis.
And so what made you run for your position?
I love this community, and I was interested in serving to help make it better. I had a few ideas. I think that there's a lot that we could do for walkability, for safety for our community, for economic development specifically. I have been the executive director of Sierra Commons, our local small business development center and co-working space, and saw a lot of economic development policy go by the wayside for some of the good ideas and some of the traditional ideas that have been tried and maybe haven't been as successful in rural communities get repeated over and over. And I wanted to see more opportunities for young people and for the people who grew up in this community to be able to stay and make a home here and a living.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Yeah, thanks for running.
Yeah.
So how long have you been a City Councilwoman?
This is my 6th year.
Oh, wow. Time flies.
Yes, it goes by fast. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you came into your position with some ideas about what you wanted to accomplish, it sounds like. I love that. Have you found that your priorities have also matched up with the City Council's priorities? And how's that meshed?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I think what's wonderful about the Grass Valley City Council is that we are 5 very different people. We're from all different kind of political stripes, different working backgrounds, and we don't always agree on how, but I can tell you that the council always agrees that we want what's best for the community and for Grass Valley. So it has been a joy. And because of the Brown Act, we can't talk about things that might get agendized or affect the business of the city. So they're the people that I talk to the most about television and new recipes and books we're reading. So they're my friends, and it's been really great. It's been a great working relationship.
So you kind of have to not talk about work.
That's
You're
true.
Forced.
Yes. Yeah.
I love that. Can we Brown Act all businesses and professions?
There's some pluses and minuses to that. I think there are opportunities where collaboration might be easier for getting things done, but it's the system that we have, so it's the system that we work with.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
So you have your priorities that you would like to see happen. You have the collaboration that you do with the board, and so that you guys get together at meetings and you hash that out and how that's happening. And you also have the public there. Have you noticed any hot button issues coming up lately from the public, and something that's really been just alive?
Hot button issues. I think that one of the biggest concerns that I'm seeing from my side of the dais is the amount of public information and misinformation that's out there. I don't think that people realize that anybody from anywhere can be a moderator of a Facebook group, for example. And you don't know if they're not living in our community, or maybe there are some health issues or mental health issues that they're dealing with, or they just may not know the right processes or policies or whose jurisdiction a certain issue is. So a lot of times we get asks and demands from the public for things that are not in our jurisdiction of the city. And it's tough, because I would love to fix the roadside garbage that is in Caltrans's jurisdiction and their oversight area. And we don't have the resources to override Caltrans and get, some of the things done that we would like to see done. So things like that I think are really tough. But local government is really a fantastic thing to be a part of. I tell everybody we fix potholes and we build parks. And I mean that. People have come to public comment with problems that if they had called the city and just said, hey, this stop sign fell over at this intersection, Public Works will come out and fix it. And we're happy to. And you don't have to fight City Hall to do that. We're here to help.
So people, you fix potholes and you build parks. And I'd like to talk a little bit about the park building part of that.
Sure.
Because we have amazing parks, and they have come so far since I've been here, and I've lived here for a little over 11 years now. And I've seen such changes. So tell me how that's happened.
So I can't lie. Measure E provides funding, and the people of the city of Grass Valley voted to support parks and first responders, fire and police, with that little tiny sales tax. Most recently, they also passed Measure B by a thin margin. And I know that the public is really counting on the city council to oversee that and make sure that that money gets stewarded in the right intention for our fire responders and paramedics. And Measure E did that. First it was Measure N, and then it got renewed by the voters. And now through a sales tax, through visitors who come and spend money here, and our local people supporting the community through that measure, we're able to afford a lot more. The other byproduct of that, which I don't think people realize, is that it's not just that we, Grass Valley, are able to afford more. The way in which we're now more competitive for matching grants at the state and federal level has increased. So in addition to taxpayers' money, we're able to leverage that by applying for further funding that goes a long way. That's how we were able to upgrade the pool, for example, at Memorial Park.
So what changed the eligibility?
Well, you have to show in grant applications that you're competitive and that you can maintain the projects. Nobody wants to give you money to put in a pool if you can't keep it clean, for example. So having the money to be able to sustain projects and make sure that the programs associated with the capital improvements can be continual helps to qualify for some of those.
Gotcha. So the community partnerships that we've been able to maintain have really helped.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, so there are the parks and the potholes and the stoplights and just the general business of running the city. Is there anything kind of under the radar that you guys do that you want people to know about?
Oh, under the radar. I mean, it's the boring stuff. It's the stuff that nobody wants to like come in and listen to or watch. I would encourage everybody in the city to sign up for our agenda packet. You can read our entire budget, every dollar and cent. It's 130 pages long and maybe not your cup of tea and maybe not the most entertaining thing, but the information is public information. Our agendas have so much in them. So it's great for people to read the paper and kind of see what happened at the last council meeting. But for people who want to know what the nitty-gritty is, what it costs to paint a crosswalk, how that process is completed from assessment with traffic studies to putting it out for bid to a construction company who can come and do the ceiling. I didn't realize some of the involved infrastructure projects that seem on the outside very simple. And so that's the fun stuff. You know, we had issues of a local easement that needed to be addressed. We've had, I think actually the real fun stuff is at the Planning Commission, because you can see where some of the solar projects are happening, some of the landscaping projects are happening. That's all things that people may not think of as being really important, but if you like the trees in your community and you want to kind of know if there's going to be enough parking at a new business, that's where it's happening.
So I have to know this, like, does anybody show up at a meeting and say, okay, here on page 111 of this 130 page budget, I see that this paint, I have a question about the paint, on this sidewalk striping. Like, do people do that? Does anybody show up like that?
Okay, I will give you an example of when I did that.
Oh, great.
Okay, so
you're in the right place.
Yes, we get, as a part of proposed projects for building maybe a shopping center, new housing development, something like that, we will get a landscaping plan. And what people may or may not realize is that catnip is actually an attractant to our wildcats as well. Bobcats are quite fond of it.
I had no idea.
I know. So I know. It's such a weird fact. And
it makes sense.
Yeah, sure. But you don't want bobcats in someone's residential yard. So I asked them to please take out the catnip. And that was on page 111, paragraph 4, very small. And those details are important. And when we see people who are able to do that kind of work and get into the nitty-gritty, we learn a lot too. It's community, and we're here to serve the community. And we want to know if you have an issue on page 111.
Love it.
Yeah.
So while you've been in office, would you like to share any highlights or achievements?
Oh, I think the Mill Street project is absolutely beautiful. It's amazing. And there have been pluses and minuses, but I'll share a story. I was having lunch at Sereno's at Main Street, and Jerry Sereno came up to me. This was probably January. And someone had just had a birthday and they were all singing happy birthday, and the place was packed. And he walked out onto Mill Street and he saw all the kids playing and the lights twinkling and the Christmas tree lit up. And, he looked at me and he said, that's why I started my business here, was for that kind of community. And I think that we're seeing more and more of that because of the Mill Street Plaza, and it's, not only is it very Instagrammable for our businesses, but it's
Totally.
A community gathering space, and I love it.
And I know that there's a new parking garage or a new parking lot to support that. Is that almost done, or is it finished, or? Where's that?
So, there is a new parking lot. It's just down the street from the Del Oro and the library on that side of Mill Street.
Okay.
And I can't remember how many spaces, but people are welcome to park there.
It's open?
It's open.
Oh,
it's
wow.
ready to go.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you for the update.
it's if you liked going to the library, it's really convenient.
Yeah, nice. So tell me, how can voters learn more about you and engage with your work?
Well, fortunately, I'm not up for re-election right now, but I work locally. I work across from Caroline's Coffee. I shop in our local grocery stores. I love it when people come up to me and talk to me and say hi. Please do. We are just normal people. I'm often walking my dogs. And of course, Hillary at thecityofgrassvalley.com is my email, and people are welcome to get a hold of me there or call the city. But yeah, I'm out and about in the community, and I love to see people and talk to them. So please say hi.
Okay. And so cityofgrassvalley.com is where they can go to learn more about the City of Grass Valley and the City Council and just the work of that in general. Great. Okay. If you have any more questions, visit that. And if you have any feedback on this piece, please email me at ncnpolitics@gmail.com. It has been my privilege to be with you today. And remember, when it comes to politics, if you're not at the table, you might be on the menu. Thank you, Councilwoman Hillary Hodge, and thanks for staying informed, Nevada County. I'll see you soon with another special guest.